Let's begin with the South Korean president's maiden trip to the United States, his first foreign visit as the nation's leader, in fact. Shortly after landing, he placed strong emphasis on the two sides' alliance forged during the Korean War. Moon Connyoung in D.C. starts us off.
It's the South Korean president's first overseas trip since sweeping to power in May. As soon as Air Force One touched down at Joint Base Andrews nearby Washington, D.C., President Moon Jae-in began his official working visit on an emotional note. He headed to the National Museum of the Marine Corps in Quantico to lay a wreath at a memorial of a 1950 Korean War battle in honor of the U.S. Marines who helped evacuate to safety 90,000 Korean civilians. The president's own parents were among them.
한미동맹은 그렇게 전쟁의 포화 속에서 피로 맺어졌습니다. 몇 장의 종이 위에 서명으로 맺어진 약속이 아닙니다. 또한 한미동맹은 저의 삶이 그런 것처럼 양국 국민 한 사람 한 사람의 삶과 강하게 연결되어 있습니다. 그렇기 때문에 저는 한미동맹의 미래를 의심하지 않습니다. 한미동맹은 더 위대하고 더 강한 동맹으로 발전할 것입니다.
Based on that ironclad blood alliance, the South Korean leader, together with President Donald Trump, hopes to seek various ways to deal with North Korea's nuclear issue. That message was loud and clear as he spoke to the presidential press corps on his way to the U.S. Capitol.
어쨌든 북한하고 대화를 시작해야 되는데 그럼 대화의 조건이 어떤 조건이 갖춰져야 되느냐 이런 부분들은 앞으로 우리가 합의 간에 긴밀히 협의해야 되는 것이죠. 그리고 이 협의를 함에 있어서 여러 가지 아이디어들이 있을 수 있다고 생각합니다. 그런 아이디어들이 자유롭게 말해줄 수 있어야 돼요.
A senior White House official echoed the view, saying Mr. Trump was interested in hearing Mr. Moon's ideas for potential engagement with North Korea, quelling concerns that the two leaders will tangle when they meet for the bilateral summit. What's also caught President Trump's eye is what he perceives as trade imbalance between the two countries, on which he said he will have a friendly and frank discussion with President Moon. On this as well, President Moon is sure he can talk it out with his U.S. counterpart, as trade volume between the two countries saw an increase while global trade took a plunge.
한미 FTA가 양국의 교역에 서로 도움이 되고 있습니다. 그럼에도 불구하고 한미 FTA가 더더욱 고유적인 관계로 개선되고 발전될 필요가 있다라고 한다면 함께 또 협의할 문제죠.
A plethora of pressing problems loom over the two presidents' first face-to-face at the White House Thursday evening, but President Moon and his team say this trip isn't about drawing immediate results on specific issues. Rather, they want to focus on building trust and friendship between the two leaders who seem to be on the opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of style and character. Will Presidents Moon and Trump get along? Will they hit it off? Well, we'll find that out in the next few days right here in the American capital. Moon Jae-in, Arirang News, Washington.